So, what is going to happen in this next season? Is it going to be a rescue mission? What's going to happen? What do you guys do?
I don't know, to be honest with you. We've only read one script, so I don't know what's going to happen the whole season. But I know that Snow and Charming and the rest of the gang are going to try to get Emma back, and they're going to try to get the savior that she was back in her somehow. So that's the main focus. That's going to be the main focus for the folks in Storybrooke right now.
And how's your couple going to fare?
Not well.
Not well. I think it's going to put a big strain on, it'll put a strain on their relationship, and I think they'll have some very rocky moments. How, I don't know, but I think they probably will. Mm-hmm. They're dealing with their daughter, which is an emotional issue anyway, and it's, it's kind of, it's their fault in a way.
And they're kind of hypocrites.
And they're hypocrites, so I think they're going to do a lot of, their eyes are going to be opening up a lot to who they actually are. And maybe they're going to look at themselves in some more realistic terms than they have in the past. What are they going to do?
Like probably anything.
I think you'll
they
find.
Would be willing to do
I think you'll find that they're going to go to some very questionable lengths in order to get her back.
Do you find now playing your characters, like coming into the 5th season, that approaching your characters is easier than ever, or do you still find some challenges?
Well, the boys keep throwing us big bones, and so we really are always presented with a new challenge. And I mean, I don't think it's a matter of us needing to find a way to maintain these characters. It's almost like they just keep giving us more and more room to grow and explore, and that has its own difficulties, but it's certainly, I mean, it's why we act. It's so inspiring. I feel like it's what's great about television is you get to really dig your elbows in and see how someone changes over a great deal of time, and you don't have that luxury in movies.
I also think, it's always challenging because they always present these characters in new situations, and they grow and change, as Jenny was saying, in a television arc. And, particularly for Charming, and, all the guys, and essentially on the show, because their women are all strong women, and the men are also strong men. So sometimes the guys take a back seat to that, and I think in terms of them being strong, because you have two strong people in a relationship, things are going to butt heads a lot. So one person has to give every now and then. And I think, for Charming in particular, I think he's a guy who has such a huge heart, and he needs a life that fills that heart. So he needs quests.
Yeah,
he needs adventures. He needs maidens to save. He needs kingdoms. He needs horses.
Maidens.
He needs
Rapunzel. Like, who's it going to be next?
And I think
they cut some quip about that in that episode.
Yeah, and I think you're going to see. Particularly in terms of Camelot, you're going to see Charming and King Arthur grow out. You're going to see Charming at his most heroic that we've ever seen him. And I think that's going to be good for him. I think it feeds his life. And I think that's something that he needs every now and then.
So how do you feel about the ways that the fan base has continued to grow for this series? Like, it leaves and bounds, all over social media and all that. How important is all that? Do you guys read into a lot of that?
We do it for the fans,
It's the most important thing, because we wouldn't still be doing the show if they weren't that passionate about that and still watching. So we thank them for that. In terms of their enthusiasm, and that always feeds us, and that always makes us excited.
And that way it's nice to have Comic-Con at the beginning of our shooting season every year, because we get to actually meet people and love them back, and I think that it ignites us a bit going into things.
Yeah. In terms of, as writers, we don't write the show, but for Eddie and Adam, I know we have a very passionate fan base who would like things to go a certain way, or certain characters to do certain things. But I think that's great, and I think it's great to have that kind of passion. But Eddie and Adam will write the show the way that they see it in their heads, and the fact that there is a lot of fan fiction around the show is
that's pretty impressive.
It's impressive. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. It's great.
Last question. Sorry. How is Snow and Charming's involvement towards turning
What is their involvement in turning?
No, what repercussions will there be to their having contributed to this? I mean, I think they've got it's like they're starting out in the red, really, because I think whenever you have impossibly high standards, you can only fall from whatever pedestal you've created. And Josh says they put purity and goodness on such a pedestal, and I add that they put themselves there within all that goodness and purity. And I think that they've
still done some horrendous things. So
exactly.
They're hypocrites in a way. So.
Yeah, and so I think that especially given what happened at the end of last season, they have a lot of work to do to make things up to her, but also to make things up to themselves. I think that their very self-identities have been shaken by what they've realized they are capable of, and by realizing really that maybe they aren't just iconic heroes, that they're just as effed up as everybody else.